Alrighty, welcome back from the break, everybody. That was Climb Up and Get the Last Chance, which is some incredible phrasing. Get the last chance. What does that mean exactly? That's from the F-Zero X soundtrack, by the way. Okay. This seems like a bit of a random pick. When I went to go set the category for the game on Twitch, it says that this game has 0 followers, which normally when you switch games, what that means, following a game directly on Twitch, in case you didn't know, like, I don't know if you get notifications when people go live, but if you follow a game, Twitch will like recommend streamers, I think, who are like playing the game to you. If you're like on their like main page or whatever. I don't really know much about it because, to be honest with you, I don't really even use like Twitch's main page. I'm very bad at discovering other streamers, which I wonder why I don't know how to market myself to grow. But let me tell you something. This is just a one-off for one. For two, from what I remember of this game, I remember liking it, but I didn't really know how to play it because I didn't know shit about F-Zero. Last year, in case you're newer to my streams, I played F-Zero X for pretty much my first time ever. And fucking loved that game. And then later in the year, I acquired a copy of F-Zero GX and played through that and loved it even more. And F-Zero GX is now like one of my favorite games. Earlier I was talking about GameCube games that I brought over to my friend Kenzie's house, and I couldn't remember which ones I brought. F-Zero GX was one of them. It was hilarious. We played the game, and then I showed Kenzie all the cutscenes. But this is not F-Zero. This is Fast RMX, which is F-Zero, but it's not. It's not. You okay? It's legally distinct. I'm pretty sure this guy, the narrator here, is the guy from GX, though. Championship multiplayer hero mode. This, like I said, is just going to be a one-off. I do know we have Aero GPX, I believe it's called, coming, and I follow the lead dev for that on Twitter, and it's very cool. Yeah, this is Mr. Zero. Awesome. Subsonic. Oh yeah, I hear it. Yeah, so I fucking love F-Zero GX. So I feel like I should like this game, but I never really got too much of a chance to really play it. I have 8% progress in the game, so that's how much I really played it. This was basically like a launch Switch game, from what I understand. And there was a Wii U version of this game, too, that I think did pretty okay. We'll go with this one, I guess. I would love to really get into this game at some point, but I'm not sure if necessarily there's any market for me to do so. But I'm going to enjoy myself with whatever amount of time I decide to play the game for today, and hopefully get into it. I don't remember the finer details, but I do remember... Okay, yeah, you have to switch. So it's not directly F-Zero here. I'm not sure if there's combat in this or not, but the main thing is you're fast, it's future. It plays a lot like F-Zero. But the big thing is you have to switch colors in order to use your boosts. There you go. Yeah, there's no health bar here, so I don't think... Like I did a spinning attack. Okay, so maybe there is a way to do it. Let me say, it's been like over 6 or 7 months since I last played, well, aside from me playing over the weekend. It's been a long time since I last played GX. And I gotta say, even still, I am like thinking back on that game, and I'm like, that was a really fucking good game. It's so sad to me that the F-Zero franchise doesn't really sell all that well. Because to me, I love Mario Kart, and like I've played Mario Kart for years, but this makes me like this right here makes me really wish there were more games like this. Which, I mean, we're getting that with Aero GPX, and I'll be playing that day one, definitely. I don't remember how to use my boost. Is there a... I was gonna say, is there like a... just graphics settings. Controls, here we go. You got leaning, switching phase, brake, change view, pause. I'm not seeing a thing that specifies if there's combat, so I'm assuming there's not, especially because there's not a health bar. Wait, what was boost? Hang on, I forgot again. Controls, boost is R. Okay. I can do that.
Awesome.
Yeah! Fucking sick, bro! This feels exhilaratingly fast, too. This feels like F-Zero speeds. Which, that's part of the appeal of it, don't get me wrong. Weirdly enough, I'm no stranger... I'm no stranger to love. I'm no stranger to admitting I'm not the biggest fan of my games being the most difficult things in the world. Fulcon? That's not Falcon, it's Fulcon. It's Falcon mending. You can kind of spin other racers to slow them down by bumping into them while you're boosting. Okay. That's good to know. See, now this feels like that one AX level, the one that took place in space. Forget the name of it.
3, 2.
It's like a mix between that and Port Town. Oh, interesting. I just realized this one plays more by the Mario Kart rules, though, where your placement gets carried over into the next race. So instead of starting at the back of the pack and having to rework your way back up, you start at the front. I will say, obviously, I don't expect this game to be F-Zero. I respect this game even more for, like, doing its own thing and not just trying to be F-Zero. Like, F-Zero is its own thing, and I'm sure in some ways this game was also created as a love letter to the franchise while also doing its own unique ideas and maybe trying something new that F-Zero wasn't able to do. One doesn't have to replace the other, of course, and I also believe these games can coexist. But there was also a recent interview with one of the lead, I think, the graphic designers on the game. The guy who made, like, Captain Falcon's design. I think he also designed, like, Tingle and Star Fox. That's right, Star Fox himself. No, like Fox McCloud, like genuinely, it's the same, like, all the same, like, artist, I guess, at Nintendo. And he basically said in an interview recently that apparently Nintendo has this mindset that they can't make a new F-Zero because Mario Kart is too successful. And that is kind of upsetting. It's like, wait, what do you mean? Like, imagine if, like, Monolith was like, yeah, sorry, we can't make Xenoblade anymore. Final Fantasy VII is just too popular. Like, it's not even the same company. Like, I get that Nintendo themselves maybe wants to push more of their resource. Damn it. They want to push more of their resources, I guess, into Mario Kart. Fine, it's fine, I get it. But I don't think that doesn't mean these games can't coexist. Now this... Oh yeah, now this straight up feels like GX. This is like both the Mobius level and the Sand level. I'm sorry to compare. I hate doing that because, again, games are their own separate things. They're able to stand out and do their own things, but you can really feel the inspiration with this one, which isn't always a bad thing. Oh shit. You can do like a hard turn if you do both at the same time. Uh-oh, fuck, wrong cover. Falling into JPEG Forest. There are some courses in this that are super close parallels. Yeah, like this feels like, I forget the general level theme, but I remember the level name. This feels like Mobius Strip from GX mixed with the Sand level from the first cup. Green Hill? More like Sand Hill. Good. Yeah. You don't instantly, you don't permanently die in this one. Which that's probably, for beginners, that's probably a godsend to this type of game. The lane, the color switching thing is surprisingly more necessary than you would initially think it would be. Like if you don't switch colors for like the air boosts, you don't get the boosts. And it's actually kind of easy to get yourself disoriented. Be like, wait, which color am I supposed to be right now? Yep. Haze is basically Port Town from GX. Alright. Yeah, I like the speed of this game. In hero mode, you get the permanent death experience from F-Zero. Oh, okay. Maybe I should check that out then. Because I actually like that about F-Zero. I will say, part of what leans into that is also the combat. Like, just going out of your way to kill other racers. Also, I know this is like an indie game technically, so you know, only 3 cups, 3 tracks per cup. Does F-Zero do 5 in every game, or is that just the first one per cup? For some reason, I'm not remembering right now.
Subsonic.
Okay. So I guess Gallum. Oh yeah, the haze does look a lot like Port Town. I see that. New Zendling looks like Mute City from Mario Kart 8. Iceland. Oh, I hate that place. Hunger Games. You want to play Hunger Game? Guess we'll just go through all of them. Host. I wonder what it takes to unlock all the other racers in this. Again, this won't be a full playthrough or anything, just because I don't think necessarily a lot of people would be interested in that. And I'm, like, kind of interested. If people want to see this, see more of this, I wouldn't be opposed to coming back to it. And like, at least trying to check out all the courses. I could totally be down with that. But like doing like what I did for F-Zero, GX and X, where I just like do like everything and like get all the unlocks manually. Yeah, I'm not so sure. Good. X, it's 6? Wait, really? It was 6 in X? For some reason, I don't remember that. I think it's been 5 for the most part, but I could be wrong. Also, this feels like GX. That's GX Big Blue right there. Oh! That's good. I like that. You know what? Actually, GX doesn't really... none of the F-Zero games really do, like, on-course obstacles other than the other racers. There's a little bit of stuff here and there. Good. But it's never, like, anything that will, like, instantly kill you, like this stuff seems to do. I guess there's falling off the course. That is an instant death. I need to learn how to do cornering a little bit better in this game. Good. I just barely strafed that. Now, maximum velocity is, I think I have that game on my 3DS Virtual Console because I had like a, what were they called? The Ambassador 3DSs. Like the people who had the DS like at launch got like Game Boy Advance games, and then they never officially released Game Boy Advance games outside of that on the system, which was dumb as fuck, by the way. They eventually did that for Wii U, and it's like, okay, but like, I guess they were trying to do that to drum up sales for the Wii U, and as opposed to the 3DS. I'm not doing so hot this time. There's an upper route there that I missed. Yeah, if F-Zero had like the insta-death traps, and F-Zero's whole gimmick of you don't respawn, and like it is death. It costs a life, and then you have to start over. I think that would enter now the realm of like, okay, this is now starting to get into horseshit difficulty. That's like the weird thing about it. Like I said, I am not the biggest fan of like my games being the hardest things ever. And aside from story mode in GX, I felt like every challenge that F-Zero put in front of me was mostly fair. I guess X had its moments of like, hey, we're just gonna rubber band to hell and back to the point where like, you can't win unless you like, kill other racers. Which was an interesting idea because it pushed the combat mechanics more. Either that or you play acceleration meta and like drift along walls. Those were your options if you wanted to beat Master Mode in X. I never did go back and do that. But I'm okay with that. GX was fair all the way to the end. I ended up doing all of Master Mode even for AX. No, for the AX Cup, I mean. How does this game look on stream, by the way? Like, does this game get compressed by Twitch at all? I wouldn't be able to really tell you because I'm unable to like look at my actual Twitch output, especially while playing this game. F-Zero, of course, also has really strong soundtracks. This is okay, from what I hear of it. Nothing's like blowing me out of the water with like its double bass drums, but I don't expect that necessarily. I'm more here for the gameplay than anything. And so far, this seems pretty good, actually. It is... I am definitely saying, like, when I first played this game, because I bought it when the Switch came out, I was like, oh, maybe I'll use this as an entry point into F-Zero. Because at the time, you know, I hadn't really ever played them. I will say... Sorry. I am way more into this right now than I think I was way back then. It's hard to say. I never really played it on a recording, I don't think. Unless I did. I may have. I don't remember doing that, though. I mean, I was kind of streaming... No, I definitely was streaming in first year Switch launch, but I don't think I quite streamed everything I played back then. Is there a way to, like, correct yourself so you land flat? The announcer roasts you if you don't get into top 3. What, in this game? I do find it interesting that the AI can steal the boost orbs. That's an interesting idea. Instead of having, like, healing strips that everyone can use, boosting is like a limited resource, it seems.
Only 2 laps to go.
Only 2 laps to go! Get fucking good, scrub! This game, I will say, if there was ever an HD F-Zero, good. I hope it would look like this. This game is fucking beautiful. And this is an indie dev. I just want to, like, re-clarify. This is, like... Isn't this only, like, a team of, like, a handful of people? Like, it's an indie dev, but, like, a really small team as well. It's probably whatever engine they're using that's doing most of the legwork, but even still, this should be commended. This game looks beautiful.
It's the final.
I mean, hell, especially for a Switch game, I might want to add. Oh, you can't merge through glass. That sucks. I might not be getting a trophy this time. I think the other racer, whoever I used last time, was a little bit better of a driver, or these tracks have gotten difficult. Difficult, lemon difficult. The Aero GPX dev seems to be putting a lot of time and attention into little details. I don't remember at what tier I backed that game, but I am very much looking forward to that. Where this game feels more like...
You reached second place.
This game feels more like GX in a lot of ways. Aero GPX feels like F-Zero X. Is that technically a win? I tied for first. Yo. They're nice and they just let you win. That's good. We hope we get another F-Zero someday. I'd love to see Whiteland and Deathwind and stuff in the style of GX. Honestly, yeah. It's surprising how little GX takes from previous F-Zero games. It's all like mostly new ideas. The idea of having multiple tracks per location is cool, but it limits how many locations you can have. I think if they had an F-Zero game, because here's another thing. When I played through GX, and even when I played through X,
Chromium.
nice. When I played through those, oh fuck,
Caradon.
I'll play as him, sure.
Subsonic.
I'll keep playing through the air. We'll do Mercury. We'll just keep going in order. I might check out, if I unlock these all like linearly, then I might be able to check them all out, but we'll see.
Mercury.
Okay. So I was just playing as MacGyver. MacGyver? Wait, some of these names... you got MacGyver. You got Fulkan. Zero. Zevil. Spark. Rochdale. Bliss. You got some good ones in here. Alright, let's play as Rodan.
Card Caradon.
Oh, Cart Caradon. Okay, whatever that means. Oh, this is like, the lightning. Look at this rain. Hopefully this doesn't look too compressed. This looks great on my screen. Oh, those water droplets are real nice. Oh, those are real nice looking rains. Eat your heart out, Mario Kart 8. It actually, the rain is so good that the visibility kind of sucks. But I feel like that's kind of the point. Oh shit, chose the wrong side. What was I gonna say though? Yeah, surprisingly, GX doesn't really use that much of like old concepts. Like I remember the story mode had Red Canyon as like that map against Samurai Goro. But there is no actual like Red Canyon map in the game, which sucks because Red Canyon is like my favorite like music track from the original SNES F-Zero. Which is a game I haven't played all that much of. If you haven't seen the schedule, we are actually checking that out tomorrow. I've just been in a weird F-Zero mood lately, so that's why we're doing these. F-Zero SNES, I might check out a couple of streams. And like I said, I would like to come back to this one. I just didn't know, like, if anyone else would be really interested in watching. But I'm happy to see that some people are, at least. In Fast Racing Neo, you get info on where racers come from. Zero is from China, for example. Fulken is Britain, and Müller is the German racing team. Okay. I'm assuming this game doesn't have that, if you're specifying the Wii U game in that case. That guy is gone. Ow. Fulkan punch! I remember showing my friend Kenzie F-Zero when I was visiting. And he was like, this is the game where that Captain Falcon guy comes from, right? But, yep. And then, like, when I show this game to, like, other friends, they're like, oh, how do I do the Falcon Punch? And I'm like, that's funny. It's funny you should say that. Honestly, yeah, I'm actually really into this. I could see myself, if I had this game at launch, I could see myself being really into this game if I had played F-Zero growing up. But I mean, I can still play it now. That's the beauty of video games. You don't have to play them day one to enjoy them. Oh, see, now this feels like Aeropolis. But like at like night or like early morning, maybe? He only does the punch in the anime, does he? You know, I should watch the F-Zero anime. I think I need to watch the F-Zero anime. I've been touting myself as like just as big of an F-Zero fan as I am like Pikmin and Xenoblade. Yet I have not yet seen this anime. I don't know if it's good. I do know that is where we hear Captain Falcon's real legal first name, Douglas. So like for that I'd be interested. But I guess just the curious thing about it is like, where would I go to watch it? Like, where could I even find it? Move. You're in my way. It feels a little weird to play a game like this and not like be like deliberately like shoulder bashing my rivals, but I like this game's flow so far. For those who I guess maybe are watching this and haven't seen me play through X or GX, those games when I streamed them were my first time playing them, so like if you watch stream number 1 of F-Zero X and then immediately like skip all the VODs in between and go to my final stream of GX, you will see a vast difference in my ability to play these games. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was not very good at F-Zero X on first playthrough. Especially not right away. I had to play the game a lot off stream to like practice and figure out like the inner mechanics of it. But it's kind of like playing a fighting game in some ways, which is weird. Again, because I don't typically like to do that kind of thing. But for some reason, F-Zero, it had me hooked. I do think when it comes to like the idea of a future F-Zero, some people are like, just give me like GX with like HD visuals like you did Metroid Prime Remastered. And that would be good enough. In some ways, it could be a good way for Nintendo to gauge interest in the series. I feel like F-Zero itself, alongside Pikmin, is one of those things where like, it didn't sell too well when it first came out. But if you gave it a shot today, I feel like it might do better. He does the punch in the anime one time on, but it's on YouTube. Okay. I'll probably check out the anime. I think it's high time I do that. Also, yeah, this just straight up feels like that. The sand level from GX. Pretty sure I've actually played this map. I seem to remember it in this game. Oh, not high enough. Missing out on boosts. I think the strategy here might be to save some boosts for more specific times.
Only 2 laps to go.
I don't think I'm supposed to be driving directly through those windstorms. You know, when I shut up, that means I'm like really into the game. Like if I'm unable to like form like conversation while playing a game, it either means I'm having a slow day and I have no brain power, or it means I'm really into the game. And it's up to you to figure out which one it is. In this case, I'll give you a hint. I'm really into the game. Oh shit. I drifted the wrong way. I like this racer too. This one's working out for me pretty well.
You reached first place.
First place! Yeah, that just straight up sounded like the way he would say it in that game. I'm sorry to keep comparing them. This game is its own thing, but like, it really is just a love letter to GX, and that's not a bad thing at all. I mean, they literally used the same voice actor in this case, so.
Congratulations.
I feel like this machine and Zero have the lightest handling. Yeah, I mean, seemed like that worked out pretty well for me. I wasn't really crashing all that much, and I was staying pretty far ahead.
Palladium.
Neo Kyoto? Oh, that sounds like fun. Sahara Plains, Sibo Canyon. Nice.
Machine unlocked.
Bliss LLP.
Bliss. I'll play as Bliss, sure. Yeah, I'm really into this right now. All right, so we just did Mercury, so now we need to do Gallium.
Gallium.
This won't unlock anything for me because I guess when I played the game initially, I already won. Sure. Acceleration is a lot lower, but the boost is great on this guy. Top speed is also better.
Bliss LLP.
Let's see how I feel about Bliss.
LLB.
Welcome to
Port Town, Aerodine. I like how they just used a picture of like Las Vegas like, during the day as the ground texture below. I mean, that's basically what they did in GX too. That's how a lot of GameCube games were. Sonic Heroes does that as well. Not really a racing game, but like the voids below will be like that. JPEG Forest, anyone remember that? JPEG Frog Forest? Ah! I just like got blown off. Wasn't expecting it. This game having obstacles is
2 laps to go.
definitely another flavored choice that I don't mind too much. It's a nice change of pace. Earlier I was talking though, like I don't, an HD version of GX, like the Metroid Prime Remastered might work in some cases to like gauge interest. But I do think if we're gonna go for a new F-Zero, just having a new F-Zero with online isn't quite going to be enough, I think, to sell the game. Like, I hate to say it, I don't think they need any, like, ridiculous new, like, gimmick, like, items or anything like that. Though, maybe a casual mode with items could... I don't really know, actually, what they would have to do, but... I definitely feel like if they are really concerned about sales numbers and don't just want to make another game, just for the sake of making another game, definitely one thing is F-Zero is not an easy franchise to get into. It is very much like getting into a fighting game, honestly. Which is why, like, when my friend Tony was like, get into fighting game, I'm like, you're right, I should do that. I know I can handle it. It's just about putting in the effort and time to like learn that. F-Zero is a thing that you kind of have to spend some time learning how to play. You can't just pick up and win. Especially X. Especially X. Better story mode where they explore some of the characters more. Have us collect bounties as Douglas. That would be cool.
3, 2, 1.
What if... Now hear me out. What if they had, like... Okay, this is gonna be a really weird cut, deep cut maybe. I don't know necessarily where this franchise stands today, but in people's minds. Nice! Does anyone remember Need for Speed, particularly Undercover on GameCube? I think it was also on PS2 and Xbox. In that game, if I'm remembering correctly, it has literally been like decades since I thought of that game. This is the first time since then. But if I am recalling correctly, it had a bit of like an open world kind of aspect where you could drive around and then do races. I don't necessarily think a complete open world like that would be like overly necessary, but maybe something similar to that. I guess also GTA is kind of a little bit like that.
Only 2 laps to go.
From what I know of it, I actually haven't really played that much GTA. But yeah, honestly, like, if there's one small gripe I can have about GX, it is my favorite F-Zero of them all. But its story mode, well, I love making fun of the cutscenes. They are hilarious in retrospect, but I think one of the more interesting aspects of the F-Zero games is like the pilot profiles that you have in GX, which is separate from story mode. So if you had like a game that like fully explored like okay, maybe instead of just hunting bounties as Douglas, what if the story mode can take place from multiple perspectives? You pick your racer and then you learn more about that racer and their like perspective on the world around them. Oh, oops. I think they both just crashed. Both the AIs back there. Love these sandworms. Oh, fuck. Shaking could be done a little bit less. Oh, damn. But yeah, like, GX's story mode was very much centered around, alright, here's Captain Falcon doing his campy-ass quest to stop Black Shadow and then, you know, Deathborn, and then whatever the fuck, like, Ghost God came after that. The creators of the universe or something. I don't remember what happened at the end of GX, but it was weird. Anyways, here's Mute City. Which was, it was good. I like that we got to see a lot of Captain Falcon there, and he is the poster child of the franchise. And you got to see a little bit of stuff, but an interesting thing is F-Zero, the pilot profiles actually imply there's a lot more like okay, there's a rivalry between Black Shadow and Falcon, but there's also stuff like I might be misremembering his name. What was he? It started with a Z? Zoda? Was it? Zoda! That guy. He had a rival with, like, Captain Arrow, didn't he? Him and his wife have a thing, you know, going on there. Maybe you could explore the superhero wife in life. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of room for a really detailed story mode there. I feel like that alone could be the thing that they're looking for when it comes to you don't just need to make another F-Zero GX HD. If you gave us that story mode and maybe, you know, kept easy difficulty fairly accessible, and you didn't have to push the hardest difficulty on us. If you want to give me the F-Zero GX challenge of like very hard mode, I'm going to tell you that I will cry upon hearing that information. But at the same time, I will fucking play the shit out of that. Just make sure that that's not like the default difficulty, because that's how you're gonna alienate, I think, new players, is by just making the game have too high of a wall of entry. There was also stuff going on like with the AX characters too. There was some interesting lore that like Don Genie was like implied to maybe be working with Black Shadow, but they weren't being specific about it. Specific. Story mode for Mighty Gazelle, that would be great. Love Gazelle. Yeah, give me more information about Biorex. I need to know more about Mr. EAD, of course, and James McLeod. Human Sona, James McLeod. Spock! Nice. I'm doing way better in this game than I did when I first played it. Obviously. Best rank quad. Alright, Iceland, here we go. Bliss is pretty okay. I think I like this one a little more. Have I played as Zebra yet? I don't think so. I've played as MacGyver, Zhang, Guangzhou. So we'll check out Zebra next.
Zebra Genetics.
Or Zebra. I guess this is de facto fast RMX character. Are those mechs? I just, once again, I have to say, this game looks fucking amazing. This is a tube like Fireland, Firefield? Okay. Oh yeah, okay. Or like Big Blue F-Zero X. No, I don't know anything about like the speedrunning scene for this game, if there is one. Considering Twitch says that there's 0 followers, makes me think there might not be much of one. For the game, I mean, as I mentioned earlier. But I wonder if there's like insanity like flying off the tube like there is in F-Zero X. Ah! I lived! I lived! Victory's mine! I am immortal! That was good timing.
Only 2 laps to go.
No. Oh. Don't do this again. Oh god. We're getting a little confused. Skill issue here. Somehow I'm in first. I don't know how. Don't get too cocky, but like somehow Palpatine returned. Somehow Ganondorf returned. Somehow Black Shadow came back. Even though technically Deathborn literally murdered him. Or he sent him like to the like dimension between dimensions or something. Now here's an interesting thing. I wonder if they were to bring F-Zero back and give us like a story mode like that. Good. Would they do voice acting for it again? And if so, No! No! Would they reuse the casting from X? I wonder. To be honest with you, I think it's mostly a direction thing, but it's also... It's a casting director thing, but some casting didn't really work. I think... I don't even know if most of those actors are still in the VA scene. So I'm gonna assume no. But let's say they do. Let's hope at least there would be, like, better direction. I don't think it's, like, the worst voice acting, but, like, let's just say I was very surprised when I learned that, Black Shadow, who looks like Batman, by the way, like buff Batman, if you've never seen him, has, like, a higher pitch register than I do. I don't think I have, like, the highest pitch voice, but I don't think I have the lowest either. I think I'm more on, like, the younger sounding voice. And I think the dude's supposed to be, like, canonically, like, 30, like, in his 30s, or if not older. Of course, then there's canonical 4-year-old Blood Falcon. The real reason that we're not getting a new F-Zero game, though, is because, Silver Nelson died. And they can't go on without him. He was like 99 canonically in GX, I think. Or somewhere around there. And he said he wanted to keep going until he was like past his hundreds. Yeah, but he wasn't able to do that because he was, well, removed. Just have his, like, son. Bronze Nelson. Have Bronze Nelson join in. Golden Nelson. Platinum Nelson. He was voiced by the guy that did Mr. Zero. Yeah, I mean, hearing him here, I don't think the Mr. Zero voice actor is a bad voice actor. I mean, also, I guess the guy is now older, so maybe he would fit the role better. I mean, hell, 10 years passed since Xenoblade was originally dubbed, and the definitive edition had Future Connected, and Shulk, like, Adam Howden sounds notably older, even though in the game, Shulk is only supposed to be, like, a year older, I think? He sounds really old in 3, too. That's an intentional direction thing in that game. So I guess, yeah, maybe the actor themselves, I'm definitely among the field of early 2000s Nintendo did not know how to do voice direction. I mean, hell, some might even argue 2017 Nintendo didn't know how to do voice direction. I'll spare your ears from the Xenoblade debate and talk about Breath of the Wild. If he died, we could get a second skeleton racer. Ooh! Boning Nelson. Wait, no, don't name him that. Bye. Oh, we got like Metal Gears in this level now? I quite like the color switching mechanic in this game, actually, as I play it more. Not to the point where I wish like other games would do it. I just like this. It feels good for this game. I remember that was an element of the game I couldn't wrap my head around initially though. I think it was mostly that and also just the general speed of it I wasn't really used to. I guess another thing with a game like this though is the speed itself to some could be the problem. I know plenty of people who find 200cc in Mario Kart to be a bit much. Though I will argue Mario Kart isn't really designed around that speed. So maybe those people, if they could, you know, if they were to try this series, maybe they wouldn't dislike it as much. Like, F-Zero doesn't really ever get faster with its difficulties, I don't think. I think just the AI gets smarter, right? I don't know how this game necessarily handles it, but... AI gets smarter, more aggressive. We really like more course like this in the new F-Zero tracks. Tracks where you're constantly on the surface. The floating racetracks are explained in lore, but I think they did them due to technical limitations. Oh, definitely, especially in X. Definitely, they were floating in the air because of technical limitations. It should be commended that they were actually able to get F-Zero X running in 60 FPS. But yeah, like tracks that exist on the ground, are great. Also, I saved 10 seconds in my overall time there, 20 seconds there, a second there. That's, I mean, I guess this is my first time coming back to the game, but I think my best racer is Rodon. But we'll keep playing around, see who else we got. Let's try Vasp. It's like a wasp, but with a V. It's Vasp. I didn't even try checking if there were like color changing options. I got that hangry. So this game, does this game only do 10 racers? I just now noted. Seems like it. The 30 racers is a surprisingly exhilarating part of F-Zero. That's another thing. If they do a new F-Zero game, the multiplayer needs to be 30 racers. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't actually really like F-Zero multiplayer too much. It's fine. It's all right. You get the respawning thing, but that's not the worst to me. But just like the fact that it's only ever 4 racers kind of blows. The 30 racer aspect of F-Zero is like what really makes that shit feel like honestly, it's like really, I don't know how to say it or explain it necessarily, but like, I don't know, just like the idea of like 30 other people all like out there and all willing to like literally kill me. It's exhilarating as fuck. Almost missed that. The 10 here is okay, especially because this game isn't really focused on the killing. But because F-Zero is kind of like centered around that, where like, I really like that idea where like if you are struggling to like place first place, there are other ways to win your Grand Prix, and that is to literally permanently erase other racers. Now the respawning thing in multiplayer, I get it. If you had it so you just permanently died and had to watch the other racers continue, I'm pretty sure that's how X's multiplayer worked. Where if you die, you don't respawn. It's just GX that respawns you. It's okay, but I get it. It is kind of lame to just have to sit there and watch the other human player finish the race. So maybe maybe you could do a middle ground. A second place, okay. Maybe you could do a middle ground where it's 2 different game modes. I mean, if it's online, I guess what you could do is if you die, you literally get pulled from the Grand Prix. It could be a... Oh my god, I can't believe I'm about to say this. This is about to be the trendiest fucking idea ever, but you could literally make it into a battle royale at that rate. Where when you die, you're dead. You know, on to the next game. You can continue watching if you want, but you're dead. Now, I don't think for a single player you should be permanently dead. I think the lives thing works. I forget, is Aero doing 30 racers, or how many racers is Aero GPX doing? F099. That I don't know. That would be... I guess that could be another crazy concept, though. I was gonna say, I don't know if that's necessarily what I'm asking for, but...
Only 2 laps to go.
F099 could be that gimmick that they're looking for. It's a small enough change, but also a huge change at the same time, that it could be something refreshing for the series when you look at them as a whole, and something to sell, you know, new players into as well. I do think, surprisingly, Mario 35, if you remember that limited time game, proves that you don't need 99 players to have a good Battle Royale experience. That said, I'm not really super into the Battle Royales myself, mostly because that genre mostly exists in the first-person shooter or third-person, just the shooter genre. And I'm not huge on, like, multiplayer shooters myself. But the idea of, like, you know, this literal battle royale where, like, you're being permanently removed from this thing is an interesting concept to me, and I think could be explored. I am vibing very hard with this game. I'm not very good at this level, but, like, I am enjoying the fuck out of it. I didn't do too well in this one. I'm not doing well in general on the scoring here. I think this racer might be a little slow for me. Also, I didn't mean to skip the cutscene. Oops.
3, 2, 1.
Might have to come back to this with a different racer. I mean, I don't even really play every racer in F-Zero. There's a surprising amount of, like, variety in playstyle. But there's also straight-up characters who suck in F-Zero. Like, if you play EAD, my question to you is just simply, why? I remember picking him as a joke, but, like, he I guess he's that. He's the Dan of F-Zero. The Minecraft Steve.
Only 2 laps to go.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to retry this Grand Prix. First place is way up there. First and second are really close to each other, though. It helps not hitting the ice, at least. Fuck. Okay, hang on, this clutch. If I can get lucky and the guy who was in first comes in like third this time, I think we'll tie in points. I think. Or if he comes in even worse, then that would be good. I think that's why having more than just three races in a cup is so important, though. I get it, though. It's kind of a limitation with this game. Maybe one thing they could have done is they could have reduced the total number of cups and instead merged tracks into fewer numbers of cups.
You reached first place.
Small complaint. Oh, looks like I got my wish. Looks like I got my wish and barely pulled through. He came in third this time.
Congratulations.
Holy shit!
New cup unlocked. Valium.
Ibashira Speedway. That is intense looking. Wayma Coast, Avalanche Valley.
New machine unlocked.
Vulcan Capital.
Oh yeah, it's time for Captain Fulcon.
Subsonic.
Do I have higher difficulties? No, you can only play difficulty linearly. Alright, well, now we can start taking a look at some of these tracks we've unlocked. Mori Park, Daitoshi Station, Willard Mine, Neo Kyoto. I don't know if I'll have time to get to all of these today. So we might come back and do a part 2 for this after all, actually.
Chromium.
I mean, I could keep going with it and just, like, play every difficulty. But for me, I think... I don't know, I am really enjoying it, though, at the same time. I don't know, I'll say, maybe this can just be a thing we come back to every now and then. Rather than something I just, like, continuously play all the way through. Who do I want to be? I'll be Fulcon. Insane top speed, but sucks on the other things.
Welcome to Mori Park.
Moody. Now, what is that box doing? What is the purpose of that?
2, 1.
This looks like a sports car from behind. Goodbye! Oh, that's a cool idea. Literal gates that you have to pass through, being the right color. And again, the like effects in this are incredible. You got like little like splashes of water in the ground here. It's a sunny day, but like it apparently like just rained the night before or something. I love this game's visuals. You know what? Yeah, I think I will come back to this game. Definitely for a part 2, where I check out the rest of the courses, of course, but also probably even come back and play some of the higher difficulties.
Only 2 laps to go.
I'm really enjoying this. I want to see how difficult this game gets too. If it quite holds a torch to the F-Zero difficulty in its racers. It might. I could see it if the AI was like... See... It's without the combat. It's like the only thing they can really do is just make the AI drive better. I don't know. Maybe I'll see. I mean, yeah, that guy just drove straight into that, so maybe having the AI run into obstacles less would be one thing you could do. Fuck. Come on, drive straight into the wall, bro. That's so cool, seeing the water splash up like that. I love that. That's such a good detail. I think these devs actually tried approaching Nintendo about making a new F-Zero, and Nintendo has actually told them no. It's like, I don't get it. Why is Nintendo so adverse towards selling this franchise? Keep in mind with like Fire Emblem, you know, Fire Emblem used to sell like shit. Same with Xenoblade, honestly. Just because, you know, Pokemon exist didn't mean that they couldn't keep making Fire Emblem and Xenoblade. And eventually they found something that really worked. Maybe that's just what they're missing.
Welcome to Daitoshi Station.
Daitoshi. It's the space elevator.
3, 2, 1.
Except it's already in space. Space elevator plus Star Wars. Forget what the name of the space elevator map was in GX. It's not really the space elevator. That had like this weird, like, triple twisty thing. What the hell? That was a crunchy sound effect right there. As they just plow their way through meteors. Making my way through meteor herd. My top speed sucks. Or, well, my top speed is good, but my acceleration and boost sucks. Once we get up there, though, we'll be great. I assure you. Nope. Don't hit those boulders. Do they live when they hit the boulders? I couldn't tell if he died from that. And I don't want to test it out for myself. So I'm gonna hit one behind me. Holy shit. Look at that earth. They got earth. That earth scarf. Nope. Yeah, get out of my way. Yeah, double bulldoze your way through. Thank you for clearing a path for us. Dear soldier, your acts will not be forgotten. Trooper. Where's that salute emote? Hell yeah.
You reached first place!
First place! Yeah. I think I might do one more cup after this one, and then call it there for a stream, but I'm definitely coming back for a part 2 after all.
3, 2, 1.
This does mean I will get to some other games I have planned a little later, but that's okay. Also, we're still going to be checking out the original F-Zero tomorrow. If I'm doing this one as a full stream, F-Zero original might just be a one-off. I don't think I want to necessarily do 2 games quite like this, but also the original F-Zero is kind of a different game than this. It's good in its own right. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I like its music a lot, and I like... well, we'll talk about it tomorrow, but... I like elements of it. I think it does some things interesting and different from what I like of F-Zero X and GX, but... overall, it's not a bad game or anything. It's just different. Yeah, if you're gonna make a new F-Zero game, Nintendo, I guess draw from the inspiration of GX. Or X. I am not doing too well in this race. First place is way up there. Did they just teleport ahead? What was that shit? Their icon, like, jolted around. I saw that. Oh, shit. Come on! No! Damn it. Just barely. I almost caught up, but not quite. We're fine. Also, that person did well. They had only scored 9 up until then. Kamagori and Zebra. I don't know what that means, Kamagori. Sanahara Desert, Sendai Outpost, and Caldera Post. Oh, now I can do the higher difficulty. Okay. Now, if I do supersonic... Ah, yes, you start with less tracks. You have to go through them all again. Okay. Well, I'm gonna keep doing subsonic all the way through. I'll do Palladium this time. And then next time, we'll do Thaldium, Platinum, Titanium, and Iridium. And then we'll maybe check out the next difficulty as well. Kamagori is the only one I haven't played as yet, so I think. Unless I haven't played as Zyle, I don't know. What play is this one? Holy shit. Kyoto. Now this looks like a cool map. Holy shit. Blade Runner, anybody? And the music works for this, listening to it a little bit more closely. Again, it's nothing that, like, for me personally and my taste that I'm like, yo, right now over, but it's good. It does the job that it needs to do. To some, that may sound like an insult, but I mean it as a compliment. There were definitely some tracks in GX that were like weird for me that I actually didn't quite love. And especially when it came to some of the racer themes. Like, okay, Captain Falcon's butt rock theme was alright. It kind of worked and fit my perception of that character. But there were some other ones where it's just like real weird. Like, I don't think Michael Chain's theme kind of worked for him. Deathborn's worked for him. Zoda's was weird. Somar and Geo, Twin Narita was a weird one for me. Nope, second place. I like this map. I think this is visually my favorite map. And again, the whole like being on the ground as opposed to floating in the sky is a really cool element of it as well. All the things move by you so fast, but it's good. It really does live up to its name. It truly is RMX. I don't know what that means. Also, welcome to Nevada now. Like the Nevada-California mountains, somewhere in there. I have no idea where this is actually supposed to be, but it feels like that. There's also a surprising amount of tracks in this game. Like, again, if you just had the same tracks, you don't need any more or less tracks, but just like divide it up into fewer cups with more races in the cup. I think that would work great for me. We gotta pull some crazy stunts. This guy is too far ahead of me right now. Being right in front of me, and no further than that. That's too far. He's gotta be behind me. Oh! That's gonna be a blow. I wonder if there are any other differences to being in different color modes. Oh, there's a shortcut there. Oh, shit. I missed out on that. Yeah, second place. Okay. Is that at least a different person who won this time? Okay. That puts me in the lead by 1 point. I just have to win this race. Ooh. Red Canyon plus Big Blue? 3, 2, 1. Music sounds like Red Canyon. Got a good opportunity to boost here. Here we go.
Only 2 laps to go.
So I didn't have that much boost available to me. Felt like I've been driving pretty okay. So if I win this cup, it's based on the RNG of the AI. Oh fuck, drop that beat. Oh, you son of a bitch! You stole my orb! I will steal your legs! Well, I wasn't even in first place anyways. Fuck. I thought I was. This person got way far ahead. It's not okay. Rubber band back a little bit for me, bud. I don't think I'm going to be doing very well in this race. Nope, third place. This might be my first after replay. Yep, looks like it. Damn, I came in third this time, overall ranking. Yeah, that racer's not for me too much. Fucking Roachdale. God damn it, Roachdale. Surprisingly really close in points, though. Oh, it still unlocked the cup for me. I guess if you get top 3, that's good enough.
New machine unlocked. Mueller PLS.
Mueller, huh? Alright, well,
Sonic.
best rank 3. I guess next time I'll come back and play through Paldium again. And then we'll do these other 4 that remain, and then do another difficulty. Beyond that, I don't know if I'll be playing all the way into hypersonic difficulty. I guess we'll feel it out, and like I said, maybe it's just a thing I come back to every now and then. I'm not too sure. But there you go. There you go. You can adjust this so that way we see next week. There we go. So thank you for watching once again, everybody. Tomorrow I will be finishing up the Pikmin 4 demo and playing the original F-Zero on SNES Online, so do stop by if you're interested in more F-Zero-esque content. Hopefully they make a new game, genuinely. I love this series and am sad that I've only just within the last year discovered it. But, you know, c'est la vie. Other than that, Mario World should be finishing up on Monday, assuming I am able to stream that day. Do keep in mind throughout the week, my schedule can change up a bit, which is why earlier I was talking about how I might be introducing here soon, instead of directly saying what days I'm streaming what, it might just be like a rotation and more of a just like check the Discord kind of thing if I stream that day. Yeah, I mean, it's safe to say I'll stream like 4 to 5 times a week still. I don't think I necessarily want to stream too much less. I do want to give myself a little more time off from the stream, but yeah, maybe just not having myself be on specific days might be good for me and my health. Other than that, though, I can at least promise this week, and for that, I'll be coming back on Thursday to check out the new Mario Kart 8 wave that comes out on Wednesday. I'm leaving Wednesday as a day off because that's probably not dropping until like 9 p.m. So we'll just play it on Thursday instead. I don't mind waiting. If it drops early and I am home, then maybe I'll check it out on Wednesday. But just expect me on Thursday for that. And then this week we got a Wildcard Friday. Maybe I'll come back to this on Wildcard Friday. I haven't quite yet decided what I'm doing for Wildcard Friday, but We'll see. Oh, and then we'll be starting Bomberman Generations next weekend on Saturday. So there you go. There's the week in advance. Thank you for watching. You all have a great rest of your night. Glory to F-Zero and all of its peoples. Amen. And to Captain Falcon, we pray. Amen, Douglas.